Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to the Coliseum here in Oakland, California, home of our 73 and 66 Oakland Athletics, as they will play host to the 73 and 67 Seattle Mariners in a battle of two AL West teams who are still battling for a wildcard spot in the American League. The Mariners starting lineup is as follows: center fielder Martin, third baseman Seager, DH Cruz, first base Lind, second base Cano, right field Gutierrez, left field Smith, catcher Clevenger, and shortstop is Marte. While on the mound for the Athletics is the right-hander Jesse Hahn. He's 8-4 with a 3.46 ERA in 16 games. Spent a decent amount of the season with a DL with a fractured arm. Former Virginia Tech Hokie, who was drafted in the 6th round in 2010 by Tampa Bay, as he'll start his day off against Leonys Martin. As Hahn sets, kicks, and fires the first pitch of the ball game. That's taken for ball one. Count runs 1-1 now, all evened up to Martin. Hahn kicks and fires. That's a ground ball, or a line drive right at Solarte as he stabs that one right out of the air. Quick glove there by Solarte at the hot corner. And that'll bring up Kyle Seager, the other third baseman. As here comes the first pitch of the AB to Seager. Check swing, he went around, but it was in the strike zone anyway. So count runs full to Seager now. Hahn sets and fires. As he freezes him on the outside half. Seager did not like the call, but he goes down looking on the outside changeup. So two down now in the top half. The first will bring up the three-hitter in Nelson Cruz. So 1-2 count to Cruz. Kick and pitch from Hahn. Ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Lowry. Tossed across the diamond, and that's caught by Alonso as he retires Cruz for the final out of the inning. So halfway through one, we are scoreless with no hits. Welcome back to the bottom half of the first inning. The A's lineup is center fielder Billy Burns, catcher Vogt, right field Josh Reddick, DH Chris with a K Davis, third base Solarte, first base Alonso, second base Coghlan, left field Canna, and then second base Lowry. While on the mound for the Mariners is King Felix Hernandez. He's 11-7 with a 3.2 ERA this season and 28 games started. He is from the same town as Oakland Athletics pitcher Henderson Alvarez, which is Valencia, Carabobo, Venezuela, as he'll be starting his game against Billy Burns, the center fielder for the Athletics. Rocking the stirrups on the old throwback jerseys. He'll pop this first pitch up behind the plate, and that'll be caught by Clevenger. So Burns goes down on a foul pop-up for the first out of the bottom half of the first inning. And that'll bring up Stephen Vogt, the lone representative at the All-Star game this season for the Athletics. As here comes the first pitch of the AB from Hernandez. That's in there for strike one up in the zone. So 0-1 count. Hernandez sets at the belt, kicks, and fires. As Vogt pops this one up opposite way into foul territory. That's over by the A's bullpen, and that will be retired by Seager, as he is in that huge foul territory here at the Coliseum. Now that brings up Josh Reddick hitting third. 2-2 count to him. Here comes the pitch from Hernandez. That's swung on and lined at the right field, and that'll be into the glove of the right fielder, Franklin Gutierrez, as he retires Reddick for the final out of the bottom half of the first inning. So at the end of one, no hits and no runs for either team. Welcome back to the Coliseum here for the bottom half of the second inning, still tied up at nothing, as Chris Davis will dig in to lead off in this bottom half of the second. Righty on righty action. First pitch from Hernandez is down and away, taken for ball one. 1-0 count. Davis steps into the box. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's a ground ball to third base, fielded by Seager. He'll toss it across the diamond. It's over the head of the first baseman, Lind. That'll get into foul territory as that is up against the wall. Gutierrez will come in to field it. Davis is rounding second, heading the third. The throw is not in time as Chris Davis advances to third base on the throwing error by Kyle Seager. That's an E5. So Yangervis Solarte will dig in now, with a runner on third and nobody out. Solarte heading from the left-handed side of the plate takes the first pitch for a ball up and away. 1-0 count as Hernandez sets at the chest. Working from the stretch, here it comes. As that's going to be popped up, reached on that one. Hits it off the end of the bat into shallow left field. It's caught, and Davis is going to try to tag. He's testing the arm. The throw to the plate beats him, but he can't handle it. Clevenger could not handle the throw as he bobbled that one, and Davis is able to slide in, and the A's strike first in this one. They're up 1-0. Now that brings up the first baseman, Yonder Alonso, as he digs in, facing the first pitch. Here it comes of the AB, and he swings at that one way up above the zone, but it's strike one, so count runs 2-2 now. Hernandez kicks and fires the 2-2, as Alonso drives this one at the right center field. It's back, and it's over the top of the right center field fence. Yonder Alonso with a solo shot right after that sac fly from Solarte, and it's a 2-0 Athletics lead. That's Alonso's 11th home run of the season. 391 feet on that bomb, as Jed Lowry, who is struggling on the year, will come up now. Struggling in the last 4 games, will come up now with a runner on first and 2 outs. Here comes the first pitch to him. Ground ball to third base, fielded by Seager. Takes the short way out at second, as that will be the end of the inning. So at the end of 2 innings, it's 2-0 Athletics over the Mariners. Welcome back to the top half of the 6th inning here as Leonys Martin digs in to lead off this top half of the 6th against Jesse Hahn, who's still on the mound. Delivers the first pitch of the AB, taken, down and away for a strike. Martin not happy about the call, but it is strike one nonetheless. So here comes the 0-1 pitch from Hahn. That's laid down for a drag bunt. Martin down the base path. The throw from Solarte is way too late, as Martin is able to lay down that drag bunt for a base knock and gets himself on first base. So now that brings up the third baseman, Seager. First pitch to him, taken for strike one, down and away. The umpire is calling that outside corner. As now here comes the 0-1. There goes Martin. Takes off for a second. The throw down is not in time, as Martin has himself a stolen bag. As the throw from Vogt was not in time, so Martin's in scoring position with nobody out. Here comes the 0-2 to Seager. That's going to be pop fly into the infield. Alonso is camped under that one. That was popped to sky high, but he's able to camp under that one, retire Seager for out number 1. And now Nelson Cruz, who's over 2 on the day, will dig in, with the runner on second being Martin, who has lots of speed. The 2-0 count to Cruz is going to be hit right off Hahn. It's going to be fielded by Alonso off the ricochet off of Hahn, but Hahn can't get to the base, as that's going to be a single for Cruz, and Martin moves up to third base. It looks like Hahn's going to be okay, as he'll stay in the game. The runners are on the corners here for the Mariners, and that'll bring up Adam Lind, left-handed bat facing the right-handed Hahn. The 0-1 count is going to be taken a long way to left center field. Burns gives chase. He's under at the warning track as he puts that one away. The throw into the cutoff man, but Martin easily tags up from third base. And the Mariners strike for 1 run here on the sac fly from Adam Lind, who missed a home run by a few feet. So now Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will dig in. He's 0 for 2 so far on the day. Runner on first is Lind. The 0-1 to Cano is popped up into right field. Reddick is under that one as he catches that one, and that'll be the final out of this top half of the 6th inning. So halfway through 6, it's going to be 2-1 Athletics over the Mariners. Welcome back to the Coliseum here for the top half of the 7th inning as Franklin Gutierrez digs into the batter's box to lead off this inning. 2-1 Oakland lead still. 3-1 count to Gutierrez as he takes that one inside for ball 4. Looked like a nick the inside half, but ump says no. So Gutierrez draws a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Seth Smith, who's 1 for 2 so far on the day with a single back in the 5th. He's behind on the count 0-2 as Hahn sets at his face. Working from the stretch, here comes the pitch, as that's a line right back up the middle into center field. Burns will field it on one hop. Get it into the cutoff man. But it's going to be a base knock for Seth Smith. So runners on first and second here for the Mariners with nobody out, and that'll bring up Steve Clevenger. 3-0 count on him. Here comes the pitch. He's still laying down bunt. He lays that one down. Charged by Solarte as Clevenger is retired at first base on the running throw from Solarte. But the runners do move up to second and third as Clevenger gets the job done. And now Ketel Marte will come into the plate, the number 9 hitter. And Hahn will intentionally walk him to load the bases instead of to force at any play, so a double play will get them out of the inning. And now with the left-hander Martin coming to the plate, that's going to end Jesse Hahn's day, who's pitched a pretty good day so far up until this inning. So they'll bring in the left-hander Mark Zepchinski to face the left-hander Leonys Martin. This is Zepchinski's 43rd appearance of the year, the veteran left-hander. So Martin's 2 for 3 of the day with 2 singles. First pitch to him is taken on the outside half, changeup for strike 1, down and away. Count runs 1-2 now to Martin. Zepchinski sets and delivers. That's inside, taken for strike 3. He goes down looking. So Zepchinski was now 1 out away from getting out of this jam, not allowing any runs. So Kyle Seager will dig in, and he is a big bat in this lineup. Lefty on lefty action here. The pitch. Check swing on the first one. That's popped up into shallow right field. Alonso tracks back, and he retires that one for the 3rd out of the inning as Zepchinski comes in at the bullpen and retires all the batters with the bases loaded. And the Oakland Athletics still have their 2-1 lead. Welcome back to the top half of the 8th inning here in Oakland as the A's still leading 2-1, and Ryan Madson will come in here in this 8th inning for the 47th time this year as he'll face Nelson Cruz, leading by 1 over the Mariners. So Cruz digs in. Righty on righty matchup here. Madson kicks and fires. And Cruz gives this one a ride to left field. You can watch that one fly. Nelson Cruz with an absolute moonshot to left field. That's a solo shot, and that ties the game at 2 as the Mariners have fought back on this one. That's Cruz's 38th home run of the year. That's 414 feet. Was the measurement on that. So now with 2 outs, runner on first. Madson delivers the first pitch to Seth Smith as he takes that one for a ball. Kent runs the 2-2 now on Smith. Runner on first takes his lead. Here comes the pitch, and that's swung through. So Seth Smith goes down swinging for the 3rd and final out of the inning, but not before Nelson Cruz ties the game on an absolute shot into the left field seat. So it's 2-2 here halfway through 8. Welcome back to the top half of the 9th inning as Steve Clevenger digs in. He's 1 for 2 so far on the day. Leading off this top half of the 9th as Ryan Madson stays in the game. First pitch taken for a strike, up and in. So 1 count to Clevenger. The righty Madson sets to deliver to the lefty Clevenger. As Clevenger gets a hold of this one, that's at the right field. Reddick gives chase. He's at the wall, and that's over the wall. Steve Clevenger puts the Mariners up by 1 here with a solo shot in the top half of the 9th as they left in the righty Madson against the lefty Clevenger, and he made them pay with his 8th bomb of the year. And it's now a 3-2 Mariners lead. So now the Athletics will bring in the left-hander Rex Brothers, who has a close to 6 ERA since being acquired halfway through the year. So with runner on first and second and 2 outs, here comes the pitch to Lynn. That's strike 1. Check swing, but it's in there anyways. So count runs 2-2. Lefty Brothers on lefty Lind. The pitch is swung through the slider, so he goes down swinging as Lind will retire back to the dugout, but not before the Mariners strike for 1 on a solo shot from Steve Clevenger as they're up 3-2 here halfway through 9. And here we are back in the Coliseum here for the bottom half of the 9th inning as Steve Cishek will come out of the bullpen looking for his 31st save on the year and his 37th appearance. Here for the Mariners is the first batter he'll face is Yonder Alonso. He had a solo shot back in that 2nd inning where the Athletics called over runs. It's a 3-2 Mariners lead, the 2-2 count to Alonso. Here it comes, and that swung through the slider, twisted him all up on that one. So Alonso will head back to the dugout as that's out number 1. Here in the bottom half of the 9th, and now Chris Coghlan will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks on the day. 1-2 count on him. Cishek sets and delivers. That's a ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Marte, backhanded it, and fires across the diamond. A scoop from Lind as Coghlan is retired for out number 2, and now that brings up Mark Canha. 1 for 3 with a single back in the 4th. But they are going to pinch hit for him with Jose Miguel Fernandez. So Mark Canha's day ends, and Jose Miguel Fernandez, the left-handed bat facing the right-handed Cishek, is their last chance as he takes that first pitch way outside for ball 1. Count runs 2-2 now. Here comes the pitch from Cishek, and that swung through the outside slider as Fernandez goes down swinging, and that's going to end the day for both teams here as the Seattle Mariners come with the victory over the Oakland Athletics by a score of 3-2 thanks to 2 late solo shots from Nelson Cruz and Steve Clevenger, as the Mariners now improve to 74-67 on the year, and the Oakland Athletics drop to 73-67. Nelson Cruz, deservedly so, picks up Player of the Game honors for the Mariners. He was 2 for 4 with a home run, which is a solo shot in the 8th that tied the game. Leonidas Martin had a multi-hit day. He was 3 for 5. One of those was a drag bunt hit. He had a double as well. Steve Clevenger, 2 for 3. He had the go-ahead home run in the top half of the 9th. And then Joaquin Benoit gets the victory for the Mariners. He's now 2-2. Cishek gets his 31st save. Ryan Madsen now drops to 4-5 on the year, while Yonder Alonso and Yangervis Solarte are the only ones with RBIs on the Athletics, as they both picked up 1 RBI, Alonso on a solo shot, Solarte on a sac fly that drove in Chris Davis. So with that being said, it's going to wrap things up here for this edition of Oakland Athletics Baseball. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
And you think of all